Hello. Hi. I am back. This is the part of the video where I'm gonna tell you about all the yarn that I bought over the past little while at the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Festival of 2025. I had the best time. It was such a great experience, and I'm so glad that we ended up spreading it out over those few days rather than trying to do everything in one go, because it was every single day I feel like was jam-packed. We saw all of the yarn vendors that were there, the sheep shearing demonstrations, the sheep that were being judged for like their all of the things about the sheep that were judged, like all the different categories of sheep. We saw the sheep dog trials as well, all of these amazing kelpies doing such great things. We saw there were cows. There was just so much, and it was just impossible to get the enjoyment we got out of the experience in just one day. We needed to spread it out to be able to actually just process everything. After each day we were exhausted and spent copious amounts of time at our Airbnb sitting and knitting on the couch by the fire. So if you are wondering whether you should go to the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Festival, I would highly recommend it. This is now the second year that Emma and I have been to the festival. The first year we made the rookie mistake of just going in one day, and we were completely exhausted. We took the train up from Melbourne in the morning. I think we left at like 6 o'clock. Then we came back on the 2 p.m. train or something like that, maybe a little bit later. And it was a full-on day, and we didn't even get to see much of the festival at all in comparison to what we were able to see this year. We also got to see all of the agricultural displays. We've learned a lot about all of the different equipment that you need for farming, of which I was not aware, besides my limited knowledge from McLeod's daughters. But yeah, I would now like to show you all of the yarn that I purchased, and fair warning, it is copious. There's so much yarn. So Emma and I have really been planning to be just not buying yarn, to be buying as much yarn as we want at this festival, and then like not buying yarn for until like a long time. So that's the plan. That's why I have so much yarn. So if that's not something that you're into, then thank you for watching up until this point. I hope you enjoyed my little videos around the festival. But yeah, if you are interested in seeing what yarn I have, I will be able to take you through it right now. I'll be able to give you all of the information that I have on the yarn labels. Other than that, I'll make sure everything's listed in the description, but yeah, I've still not logged all of these on my Ravelry yet, so after I film this video, then I'm gonna go and update my Ravelry. But I guess I should start off by showing you this little ring that I got. This is not a yarn purchase. It is so freaking adorable. I will try to put in a photo because I don't think this will focus, but it's this little cat ring. It's just the cutest thing. Emma and I, we got matching ones. There was a lady, it was one of the stalls there. It wasn't the lady who did the ceramics that was there, but she's from Geelong, and they're porcelain, and she just hand makes all the little like jewellery and little earring dishes and things. It was adorable, so this was quite a good purchase. Yeah, then I guess I'll just run through things. I am not able to show you all of the yarn in its balled up form because I've already started and finished a project with one of the things that I got, which I'm very happy about because it's already making its way out of stash. And that is this pair of socks. They are DK weight socks with the lovely yarn from Half-Baked Hand Dyed self-strapping DK sock in the colorway K. Now this is one that has the recommendation to do, because it's DK, it gives you the recommended stitch count, and it turns out to be 6-row stripes, which I think is so cool. So I cast these on after buying the yarn on the first or second day of the festival, I'm not sure, and they're done. I did initially knit them to be 3 stripes smaller and without this little contrast bit at the cuff. Oh yeah, the contrast colour is also from the Half-Baked Hand Dyed stall. It's just the DK weight mini that she had. I don't think it even had any colour names listed or anything, but I just thought it was a good one to add on. You see there, the colours match. Just for the toe and heel and this little bit at the cuff. Ooh, just hit myself in the face. because I just wasn't sure about having the right amount if I did the heel and the toe in this self-striping colorway, and also I didn't want the colors to be pooling in an awkward way. But so what I did was I just cast on with the self-striping yarn and then knit cuff down, and then when I'd finished both socks I realized that I had 6 stripes left, like worth of yarn, and I had more of this colorway, and I was like, that's so annoying. Like I know I could use it in another pair of socks, but I thought I just wanted to get it all done in one go. So what I did is I cut in there. Well, initially I tried to unravel from the top and figured out that you can't unravel backwards. It was a terrible ordeal, so I would not recommend. After I figured out you couldn't do that for this, so the second sock I just cut in, like I picked up stitches around just below the ribbing. Then I added 2 stripes onto the stockinette portion and 1 stripe into the ribbing, and then I just used the other 3 stripes that I'd cut off in the ribbing and knit up, and then did 2 rounds or 3 rounds of the contrast colour and cast off in 2x2 rib, because usually when I knit socks I knit top down. So I'm keen to see how these go. This is the first bottom up pair of socks I've knit. I think the first pair of bottom up socks that I've knit I've knit one for my grandma, and they seem to have held up quite well, but this is like a 2x2 Italian cast off, so it seems super stretchy. The only problem is that when I'd gotten to the end of this ball of yarn and I had the 3 colours left, it was these 3 colours. And can you see the problem? Yeah, there was no more blue. So unfortunately the colours do not match up, they're not even, and it does bother me. But I've used up all of the yarn and I'm really happy with the finished products, so I think I'm just gonna have to get over it. And I keep telling myself that it's not obvious, but I mean, now that I've pointed it out to you, it's very, very obvious. And it's right at the top part as well, which I didn't even think about, that there wouldn't be the exact colours left because of where I've started and finished and picked up. So that's just going to annoy me, but I figure that what I can do is just kind of like roll it over so it's a bit less obvious, like have them like that. We'll see. But all in all, I have a finished pair of DK weight socks ready to warm up my feet in these cold winter days we're having. And yeah, that's the first bit of yarn that I got at the festival, and the only finished thing I have. This is not a works in progress finished objects video, this is just entirely acquisitions. So I guess I'll start off with the first day when we made our stop at the Bendigo Woolen Mills. I'm so excited for what I got. My friend Emma, she's been telling me about these eggs that she has acquired at Woolen Mills before, and I was so keen to find one, and I got one. It's so I mean, I don't think this is actually called an egg. We've just adopted the name of egg of calling it. This is a massive skein, massive ball. Like, this is heavy of DK weight yarn. Emma knit her Elizabeth blouse in this, and she said there was not a single knot in the whole thing. How amazing is that? This is about 1,600 meters of DK weight yarn, which is just crazy. This is more than enough to do anything my little heart would desire, and it's in this beautiful electric blue color, which clearly I am fond of. So I am planning to do a 1/4 zip sweater in this, and I'm really keen to cast on with it because I can just knit exactly from the ball. I'm very scared to do a center pull because, like, I just feel like it'll unearth about 100 grams worth of yarn. But I'm really keen to knit with this. It feels like, it doesn't feel super soft, it feels like just a machine produced yarn, but it blocks out beautifully. Like, I've seen Emma's Elizabeth blouse and it just, the tension is amazing and it feels beautiful, and it's really not peeled much either, and she wears that a lot, and this color is just to die for. So my egg is high up on my list of priorities to start knitting with. But how cool is the egg, right? Shout out Bendigo Woolen Mills. I think that this was like somewhere between $55 and $65 for 1,600 meters of yarn. A bargain at any price. Next, I got 2 other sweater quantities of yarn from the Bendigo Woolen Mills, one of which has already been cast on into something new, but I will talk about that in my next podcast. this yarn here. This is the Bendigo Woolen Mills wollemi, and the colour is Acacia Limelight. I got the 8-ply version, and it's 100% Corriedale wool. It is so new that it's not even on Ravelry. It is on their website though. I think that some of the colours they're still saying pre-order, but they're all available in store, and it's just amazing. It's 100% Corriedale. It's in this beautiful, beautiful colour, which I adore so much. And yeah, I knit up a little swatch and it blocked out beautifully. It's got a really nice bloom to it, and there's just these little fibres of the Corriedale poking out, so it almost looks like it's been held with something else, the halo. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love this colour. I feel like I've knit a lot of things in this colour, but it's not going to stop me, and I have a DK weight now. So then I also picked up 3 balls of this one, which is the Bendigo Woolen Mills Rustic Tweed, which is 10-ply in the shade Wild Violet. So it's got these beautiful tweed pieces all throughout. It's like this nice dark purple colour with just a whole heap of random colours in there, which is the 5% nep. And I'm really liking that it's a DK, not a DK, that it's a 10-ply, so I'm going to knit a chunky cardigan, I think. We shall see. But those are the things I got from the Bendigo Woolen Mills, and that's my first time ever going to a woolen mill, and I love it. The yarn so far, from what I've seen from the Bendigo Woolen Mills, is a very, very high quality, and it's very well reputed. So I mean, I've only knit a swatch so far, but I can so far recommend that swatch. And based on what everyone else has said, I'm keen to be knitting with it. Okay, next. The next one is a little knitting adjacent thing, which is this cute little whale pouch. I don't know, I just have really been needing a new little notions bag. This is probably a little bit too big to carry around everywhere, but so cute. It's got like little ducks inside, which I thought was really random. But this is from Sian yarns. I think that's an Irish name, so I'm sian. I'm so sorry. I definitely should have looked this up before I started talking about it, but it's like a sister duo, I think. There were a few lovely ladies at that stall selling jewellery. I also bought some earrings, but they are somewhere else, but I bought a pair of woven earrings from there, this little pouch, and some other yarns, or some yarn I'm about to show you. So they had a whole variety of things on offer, and it was just, yeah, beautiful. So I'm really keen to see, like, the craftsmanship on this is just gorgeous. I guess like you can, I don't know, hold it like that, and it's all made with recycled denim. So I thought that was really cool, and I thought he was so cute. I don't know what I'm going to name him yet. I think Marlin. Bit of a Nemo thing, not even a whale. Anyways, I also got from that store a little box kit of the Very Hungry Socks kit, which is 100-gram skein of caterpillar green, 120-gram mini skein of toadstool red, 2 meters of each yellow and green yarn for the eye details, and it comes with a little duplicate stitch chart to duplicate stitch on the eyes, because it's Very Hungry Caterpillar. How adorable is that? I saw these knit up in a sample and I just knew that I had to have that, because I've been thinking about knitting Very Hungry Caterpillar socks for a long time, and then so to find the yarn all in a kit, it was just it needed to happen, and it did, and I'm very tempted to cast these on very immediately. But they look so cute in a little box, so they may just sit there for a little bit. So that's what I got from that store, which I will correct myself in pronunciation on screen. I am terribly sorry. Next. Okay, I found the swatch. So cute, right? There are birds outside making lots of noise, so I apologize for that. Anyway, the next bag, they're not all from the same stall, like the same stalls, but they're very similar colorways, and so when Emma and I were going over what we'd bought, we realized that I have a certain color scheme that I enjoy. So let's go into it. This one is this beautiful skein from Tarnd One Coort. One family, one flock since 1840. So it's this beautiful stall, this beautiful company that they do solely, is it Polworth? Pretty sure it is solely Polworth yarn, Polworth sheep. And this is 100 grams of 8-ply yarn, hand-dyed. A heritage yarn helping conserve Australia's first breed of sheep and its place of origin. Wow. So it feels gorgeous. The squishiness of this yarn. Emma and I both got the same colorway. She's going to use hers for some color work and I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. I just thought it was so gorgeous. So here we go. Just the colors are so pretty. So yeah, have this one skein, no project in mind, but that's all right. I got another little kit after seeing, I was very easily influenced. I was just so enthralled by all of the yarn I was seeing and all of the knitted samples. So when I saw the sample for this colorwork beanie, I had to get it. So it came in this little box. The yarn is from Ethereal Medusa Fibre Co. And it's these two little already wound cakes, which is very useful. That is a hair from my dog, already getting everywhere. Which is the Percy Fingering 4-ply, 50 grams, 210 meters, and it is 60% Corriedale, 29% Cheviot, and 11% Bond Merino in the colorways Plush and Golden. So, sorry. These two colors. And I was even more sold on this yarn when the person running the stall told me that you can get 2 beanies out of this quantity by just inversing the colors. That blew my mind. So this is going to be knit up into a colorwork beanie very shortly. And it came with the like pattern instruction or a link to get the pattern for 50% off, which I thought was very cool. So these little boxes of yarn are quite cute and I feel like I might just want them to stay in their boxes for a little bit more. I don't know. So that's there. Then the other yarns that fit into that colour scheme is another ball of self-strapping sock yarn. This one's fingering weight though, and it is from Colagirl Collective, which is the Charli sock base which is 80% blue-faced Leicester and 20% nylon, and there's approximately 365 meters in 100 grams. And this is colorway Theodore, which I thought was just gorgeous. Very similar to another self-striping sock yarn from Halfbaked Handdyed that I got a few years ago, and I knit into a pair of socks now that I think of it. But it's still different enough that I'm very happy to be using it. So I'm very much into the self-striping socks at the moment, as you can tell, and I think that this will be used very shortly. Ooh. Okay, and next, I think this is the only yarns that I got that I was, when I showed up to the festival, I knew that I wanted to get yarn for this specific project and I did a complete flip on the colours I was going to get, but I'm really happy with the colours I chose. So, well, I got these 3 actually, let me hold it like that. These are, oh, another one I can't pronounce, leahcim, Leahcim wool, 100% pole merino. And so we found out that when sheep or cows have the name pole before the breed, that means that they don't have horns. So this is merino, but they don't have horns. Because apparently originally sheep without horns were thought to produce a lesser quality of wool, but clearly that's not true. So this is the pole merino in colours bronze and blondewood and bronze, because this has just these beautiful pieces of yellow in it which really bring this out. And this is going to be my bifurca vest. I'm so excited to knit this. I'm going to wind up these skeins into cakes after I'm finished filming. This is going to be my main colour, this is going to be my contrast colour. I am going to have to stretch it a little bit because I think I've got 50 meters less than recommended for the main color. But I think I'll just shorten the ribbing and maybe make some more decreases in the side or something. But I think this is going to be gorgeous and I'm really keen to cast this on. So these are all these colors that I thought were very similar. Yeah. Next, I have some other, oh, I forgot to mention at the start, but going into this festival, Emma and I were both really wanting to buy yarns that we couldn't get anywhere else, try new breeds of sheep, new yarns and constructions and different new things, different fun new things that we couldn't get anywhere else and that we'd not tried before, which I feel like is the case for the majority of my yarn besides the... Actually, I don't think I've bought any of this yarn before, or any of... I've definitely bought the brands before, this half-baked hand-dyed, but I've not tried her DK sock before. And I've tried a self-strapping sock yarn before, but not from Colagirl Collective. So I did well on that front. And yeah, so pretty much all of the types of sheep I'm talking about I've not used before, because I pretty much only use merino or wool, like when it just says 100% wool. So anyway, segue. This is 70% Polworth, 30% silk, 4-ply fingering in the base called Blackbeard from Pirate Purl yarns. So Blackbeard makes sense. This is in the colour Cafe au Lait and Meadow Dark. So it's about 400 meters or 400 meters per 100 grams of each of these skeins. And I was thinking of doing a Tombow tee with it. Just the stripes. But this one's not one that I'm going to be casting on anytime soon. It's just going to sit here looking gorgeous on my shelf. And the 30% silk in this I think will be beautiful should I decide to cast this on when it gets a bit warmer, even though it'll still be a 70% wool garment. There's silk in there and it'll be a t-shirt, so it's fine, right? Okay. Next, I got 2 skeins of grey speckled yarn, which I've come to realise is something I knit with a lot, but these are different because this is 8-ply Australian alpaca with recycled sari silk that is the little tweedy parts from Alpaca Allure Sheer Luxury, but it's spelled sheer like S-H-E-A-R, which is pretty funny. And it is proudly 100% Australian owned and made by Fibre Naturally, Alpaca Woolen Mills from Victoria. So this is 205 meters per skein. So I'm thinking that I want to do a nice little scarf and some gloves, like matching gloves with this. But it's just got this beautiful pink undertone and the colorway is Cheeky Galah. I feel a bit strange just like holding this yarn up. Not sure if it's focusing or not. I feel like a bit like a beauty influencer. So, oh, next, I got this massive hank of yarn that's like super rustic. Like my hands feel like they've got lanolin on them after I squish this. This is from Northeast Yarns, Stringy Bark 5-ply pure wool. Approx 298 grams. And this is the 100% Corriedale. They come in these massive hanks. So it's a 5-ply and it's like 300 grams. So I've got a decent amount of meterage here. And I'm thinking that I would like to do a nice vest. Emma has knit the Burgos vest by Rosa Pomar about 1 million times, and every time she wears it and I see her, I am overcome by the urge to knit it. So that's what I think this is going to be. I'm just going to have to figure out the gauge a bit because I think that's a 5mm pattern and this is 5-ply. We shall see. But I just love this chocolatey brown colour and this, the spin on this yarn is just, oh, I think this is going to knit up beautifully. So I'm very excited to use this. I'll just keep stacking them over here, I guess. Okay, I've only got a little bit to go. So this is the skein that I used for the contrast on those DK weight pair of socks. I bought 2 of them because I thought I was going to run out, but I did not even have to break into this. It was just a really cute little DK weight skein. Why am I rolling it up like this? I don't know, but that's the colour. It's nice green. So I guess now I'll figure something out, which may be what I'm about to show you, from the wool store. Oh, Australian the wool store. I think it's the Australian wool store, but it looks a bit strange. Oh yeah, the Australian wool store. Exquisite hand-dyed yarn in Sydney, Australia. I bought this, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon, DK weight sock yarn, and it's about 200 meters. The colorway is Grandpa's Jumper. So it's this like grey with speckles, but it's hand-dyed. Because I'm very much into the DK weight socks at the moment. So I'm thinking I would like to do maybe the Mountain Walk socks by Handmade by Florence. And I could use that as the contrast colour if I would like to. But I think that for this I don't need to do a contrast colour. Anyway. And from the same store, oh no, this is not from the same store. Never mind. This is from Tough Stocking no. It's from Dyed by Hand Yarns. Okay, that was a bit confusing. But it's the Tough Stocking Mini, which is 75% merino, 25% nylon, 20 grams, 84 meters, sock yarn. It's classed as super fine though, which is interesting. It's in the color Purple Sea Urchin. How do I show these little minis? They're a bit hard. So I thought this may be an option to do for this one as a contrast color, or just to use it in contrast in a pair of socks. I don't know. Now the last thing, which is actually the thing that I'm probably the most excited about. Okay, I lied, there's two more things. One of them was hidden. This is, Emma and I saw this store last year when we were at the festival. We couldn't remember the name of it or anything, but we just remembered where like the store was and what they had there. And we both said we wanted to go back and buy more this year. Or buy some this year because we didn't last year, and so we did. This is the Avonlea Finsheep luxury yarn. The colours are beautiful. So this is a flock of sheep tended to by the beautiful people that were running the stall. I'll read the back. Rare breed fin sheep ethically farmed in the Macedon Ranges, a luxury fibre hand-dyed with foraged and natural plant dyes, creating unique colour and tonal variation. So these are, I got 3 skeins of the 8 ply, which is 200 grams, 400 meters approximate, and 100% pure fin sheep wool, which is an ancient breed from Finland, and that there's a flock here in the Macedon Ranges, grown and processed in Victoria, Australia. This is amazing. This feels amazing. They were wearing garments knit in this yarn as well, and it just looked like it held up so well. One of the sheep's name was Dave, he told us. He said that they know about 70 of their sheep by name, which is so lovely. I had a great time interacting with all of the people that were stall holders, talking about their sheep or their processes and just learning about what it means to them. It was such a wholesome and fulfilling experience. And these fin sheep, how cool. So I got the colours logwood and larch, which I think are the things used to dye them, but I have no idea. And these 3 skeins, which I hope to do a colourwork piece with, and I just think it's so beautiful. I'm so keen to see how this feels knitting up, because if I like it, I'm sure I'll like it, but I would be very, very tempted to get some more next year if I've already knit with this by then, which I will have, because I'm so keen to cast this on. And purple is like my favourite colour, so these 3 there. Now, last but certainly not least, is this tiny little skein. It's not a tiny skein at all. This is from Windara Black Sheep, and it is the non-superwash Polworth wool. 8 ply, 200 meters, and the scale, it's the chalky base, 100 grams. It's this really nice, rustic, non-superwash Polworth, whom my grandmother told me to go and find this stall when I was there, because she knows that some relation and familiarity there with the stall holder. So we had this really fun but awkward little interaction where I was like, my grandmother knows of you somehow, and then we had to figure out that. But it was really great. She's got beautiful yarn that is not dyed as well and has her own flock. which is gorgeous. And they had a sample knit up of a 1x1 rib, like double folded beanie in this exact yarn, and I knew that I had to knit that exact thing. So I'm really keen to have a dark brown beanie at some stage, which should use pretty much exactly this whole skein. So I have bought a lot of yarn and so I can guarantee you that for my next few podcasts there will be no acquisitions. I'm very, very happy, and I am so grateful to have been able to have this experience and to be able to treat myself in this manner. It was such a great time, and yeah, really I would highly recommend going to the festival if you are in Victoria, Australia, even though I know that some people travelled from interstate to come as well, because it is Australia's largest fibre festival, and I'm pretty sure Australia's largest agricultural show as well. It was a great experience. I would, yeah, highly recommend. I'm repeating myself now, but I had a blast, and I hope that you've enjoyed coming along with me for the ride. Yeah, we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming soon. Thank you. Bye.